setting forth how the Vizier incurred perdition, by engaging in this plot. The Vizier was ignorant and heedless, like the Jewish king. He was wrestling with the eternal and inevitable, with a God so mighty that in a moment he causes 100 worlds like ours to come into existence from non-existence. 100 worlds like ours he displays to the sight, when he makes your eye seeing by the light of himself. If the world appears to you vast and bottomless, know that to omnipotence it is not so much as an atom. This world, indeed, is the prison of your souls. Oh, go in yonder direction, for there lies your open country. This world is finite, and truly that other is infinite. Image and form are a barrier to that reality. The myriads of Pharaoh's lances were shattered by the hand of Moses, armed with a single staff. Myriads were the therapeutic arts of Galen. Before Jesus and his life-giving breath they were a laughing-stock. Myriads were the books of pre-Islamic poems. At the word of an illiterate prophet, they were put to shame. Confronted with such an all-conquering Lord, how should any one not die to self, unless he be a vile wretch? Many a mind, strong and firm as a mountain did he uproot, the cunning bird he hung up by its 2 feet. To sharpen the intelligence and wits is not the right way. None but the broken in spirit wins the favor of the king. Oh, many the amassers of treasure, digging holes in search of treasure, who became an ox's beard, dupe to that vain schemer, the Vizier. Who is the ox that you should become his beard? What is earth that you should become its stubble? When a woman became pale-faced, ashamed of her wickedness, God metamorphosed her and made her Zura, the planet Venus. To make a woman Zura was metamorphosis. What, then, is it to become earth and clay, O contumacious one? Your spirit was bearing you towards the highest sphere of heaven. You went towards the water and the clay amongst the lowest of the low. By this fall you metamorphosed yourself from that state of existence which was the envy of the spiritual intelligences. Consider, then, what is the character of this metamorphosis, compared with that metamorphosis of the woman. This, which you have suffered, is exceedingly vile. You urged the steed of ambition towards the stars. You did not acknowledge Adam, who was worshipped by the angels. After all, you are a son of Adam. O degenerate! How long will you regard lowness as nobility? How long will you say, I will conquer a whole world, I will make this world full of myself? If the world should be filled with snow from end to end, the glow of the sun would melt it with a single look. God by a single spark of his mercy mocketh not his, the Vizier's, burden of sin, and the burden of 100 Viziers and 100,000. He mocketh the essence of that false imagination to be wisdom. He mocketh the essence of that poisoned water to be a wholesome drink. That which raises doubt he turneth into certainty. He mocketh loving kindnesses grow from the causes of hatred. He cherisheth Abraham in the fire. He turneth fear into security of spirit. By his burning, destroying, of secondary causes I am distraught. In my fancies of him I am like a sophist, skeptic or agnostic. How the Vizier started another plan to mislead the Christian folk. The Vizier formed in his mind another plan. He abandoned preaching and sat alone in seclusion. He inspired ardor in his disciples from their longing to see him. He remained in seclusion 40 or 50 days. The people became mad from longing for him and on account of being separated from his spiritual feeling and discourse and intuition. They were making supplication and lament, while he in solitude was bent double by austerities. They said, Without thee we have no light. How, what, is the state of a blind man without a leader? By way of showing favor to us, and for God's sake, do not keep us parted from thee any longer. 555. We are as children and thou art our nurse, do thou spread over us that shadow of thy protection. He said, My soul is not far from them that love me, but there is no permission to come forth. Those emirs came for intercession, and the disciples came in reproach, saying, O noble sir, what a misfortune is this for us! Without thee we are left orphaned, deprived, of our hearts and our religion. Thou art making a pretense while we in grief are heaving cold, fruitless, sighs from the burning heat of our hearts. We have become accustomed to thy sweet discourse, we have drunk of the milk of thy wisdom. Allah! Allah! Do not thou, O Vizier, treat us with such cruelty, show kindness today, do not, put off till, tomorrow. Does thy heart give to thee, consent, that these who have lost their hearts, to thee, should at last, being without thee, become, numbered, amongst them that have nothing left? They all are writhing like fishes on dry land, let loose the water, remove the dam from the stream. O thou like whom there is none in the world, for God's sake, come to the aid of thy people. How the Vizier refused the request of the disciples. He said, Beware, O ye enslaved by words and talk, ye who seek admonition, consisting, of the speech of the tongue and, the hearing, of the ear. Put cotton wool in the ear of the low, physical, sense, take off the bandage of, that, sense from your eyes. The ear of the head is the cotton wool of the ear of the conscience, until the former becomes deaf, that inward, ear, is deaf. Become without sense and without ear and without thought, that ye may hear the call, of God to the soul, return. So long as thou art, engaged, in the conversation of wakefulness, how wilt thou catch any scent of the conversation of sleep? Our speech and action is the exterior journey, the interior journey is above the sky. The physical sense saw, only, dryness, because it was born of dryness, earth the Jesus of the Spirit set foot on the sea. The journey of the dry body befell on dry land, but, the journey of the Spirit set foot, took place, in the heart of the sea. Since thy life has passed in traveling on land, now mountain, now river, now desert, whence wilt thou gain the water of life? Where wilt thou cleave the waves of the sea? The waves of earth are our imagination and understanding and thought, the waves of water are, mystical, self-effacement and intoxication and death, fana. Whilst thou art in this, sensual, intoxication, thou art far from that, mystical, intoxication, whilst thou art drunken with this, thou art blind to that cup. Outward speech and talk is as dust, do thou for a time make a habit of silence. Take heed. How the disciples repeated their request that he should interrupt his seclusion. They all said, O sage who seekest a crevice, means of evasion, say not to us this, word of, guile and harshness. Lay on the beast a burden in proportion to its endurance, lay on the weak a task in proportion to their strength. The bait for every bird is according to its, the bird's measure, capacity. How should a fig be the food, lure, for every bird? If you give a babe bread instead of milk, take it, for granted, that the poor babe will die of the bread, yet, afterwards, when it grows teeth, that babe will of its own accord ask for bread. When an unfledged bird begins to fly, it becomes a mouthful for any rapacious cat, but, when it grows wings, it will fly of itself without trouble and without whistling, prompting, good or bad. Thy speech makes the devil silent, thy words make our ears, full of, intelligence. Our ears are, full of, intelligence when thou art speaking, our dry land is a river when thou art the ocean. With thee, earth is better to us than heaven, O thou by whom, the world from, Arcturus to the fish is illumined. Without thee, darkness is over heaven for us, but, compared with thee, O moon, who is this heaven at all? The heavens have the form of sublimity, but, the essence of sublimity belongs to the pure spirit. The form of sublimity is for bodies, beside the essence reality, bodies are, mere, names.